I'm Brian Van, sportbiketrackgear.com, and today we're going to install a Hotbodies Undertail on our 2015 Team M4 sportbiketrackgear.com Suzuki GSX-R600 project bike giveaway. We've already done a vortex fender of the main, okay? So we have our stock fender off the motorcycle. Now, installing this, okay, because it's a paint to match part on this blue bike, is really going to clean this up down here, and they have a real cool place to mount the license plate. You can, at the end of the day, they give a couple little brackets. You can put it wherever you want to, okay? But this is the spot we're going with. There's a little LED there to shine on it, okay, so it is going to be visible for you at nighttime, right? So hopefully you don't get in any trouble with the police officer. It's an ABS molded plastic piece, right? Direct fit, really good instructions come with the piece. Give you an idea of the paint match. See, it looks pretty darn good. You know, once we get it all up in there, this thing is going to look phenomenal. Okay, hardware that it comes with, it's got a couple of Scotch locks. Going to use those bad boys for the LED license plate light. We're going to start off actually with the license plate. We're going to get this prepped and drilled for the plate. I'm going to go ahead and get the plate on here. I want to take a minute and get this lined up nicely, because once the holes are drilled, that's it. See, right about there, looks pretty good. Like so. I'm going to use a unibit to go through. One more step. Get that centered up. Okay. So we're going to start off by mounting the license plate. If we can actually get the bolts picked up and not drop them again. Grab our plate, supplied fastener. They come with nylock nuts, locking nuts. We don't have to worry about losing it, right? Likes to vibrate quite a bit, but we're going to be good to go here with the hardware that they've supplied for us. So when we come back, I'm going to have this bad boy all snugged up, ready to roll, and we're going to start tearing apart this Suzuki, getting ready to install this Hotbodies Undertail. All right, here we go. We're going to begin taking the Suzuki apart. First thing I want to do is I want to get these little side trim panels off. Okay, these are held on with, all right, this Velcro here, and there's also a push tab that's molded into it. And there is the bolt for the rear seat, the rider seat. We're going to do this on both sides of the motorcycle. Get that rider's seat off, then we'll use the key to release the passenger seat. Really like the paint scheme on this 2015 GSX-R600. This bike looks pretty sweet. Okay, rider seat away. Grab the key, passenger pylon released. And now we're going to lower the table down, and we're going to begin removing the fasteners for the actual tail itself. 2 Phillips screws here. Some Allens, some push pins. I, of course, did not really read the instructions because I'm a guy and guys don't like instructions. So I'm just kind of rolling here on my own a little bit. I have had the tail of the bike apart before though. A little advantage there. We did the vortex tail light. I had this bad boy all apart, so. Okay. All right. The upper portion of that. And kneel down here. Some more push pins. There is a. Okay. And that's what it takes to release that half. Now from here, you can pull the cable. Need a little help here. If you want to get it totally off the motorcycle, pop that out of there. Pop that out. And then we have our wiring here for the turn signal. It's integrated into the tail. This way we can get this completely out of harm's way so we don't scratch it. Gonna repeat the process here on the other side. See some of the wiring that we did. We put in our integrated tail light. That's going to look sweet too with this undertail. Okay, so this has really gone a long way to expose our tail that we need to remove. I'm going to raise the bike back up in the air and begin removing the stock undertail. Okay, I'm going to remove the fasteners from the vortex fender eliminator. We've got a full video on that too if that's something you're interested in. If you're not looking to do an entire undertail. When you see this undertail, I think that might change your mind. Okay. Removal of the stock fender is realistically very similar to what you're seeing me do here with this vortex fender eliminator install. Okay, and out comes this portion of the undertail. Okay, I cut off our factory license plate light connector. We're going to wire this right now to our Hotbodies Undertail. Did a power and ground test. I know this wire is the ground, this wire is the power. Obviously, power to red, ground to black. It's important with the LED. Got my wire stripped and twisted here. I'm going to slide it up into the butt connector. This stuff was not supplied. They supplied Scotch locks. I'm out on that. I'm not going to use those. Get a good positive crimp, test it, make sure it's good, and strip the other side. This is all stuff that's readily available in any hardware store, so this is nothing really out of the ordinary that I'm using here right now. These are actually shrinkable butt connectors, which is nice. Get a good tight connection from these, weather resistant. After you crimp it like that, always test it. I'm going to shrink these down just a little bit. Apply a little heat to them. These are really nice. It's something we used to use at the Cadillac dealer. Okay. Now we'll come over to our Hotbodies Undertail. And go ahead and strip these down. A little thinner gauge here, so what I like to do is strip a little extra, and then I'm going to fold it like that. It's going to help it grab better inside of our butt connector. Good crimp. Test it. Feels good. I'm going to go ahead and heat this one now. Scotch locks aren't bad. I just think that at the end of the day, this is going to give you a better result. If you've never used a butt connector, I'm going to explain to you in a little more detail when we do this last one. Got our wire stripped back. Once again, just going to fold it, take up more space inside of our butt connector. You can see here, right, you have an aluminum sleeve here in the center, okay? And that's what the wire slides into. And then you have the shrinkable portion here. Not all butt connectors are shrinkable, right? But then you have the insulating portion here. You want to make sure that when you crimp it, you are squeezing on the aluminum, not just the plastic, because that will not clamp down on the wire. So go in about 1/8 of an inch or so, give it a good squeeze, and after you've done it, always give it a light tug and make sure that it's biting on the wire. Shrink this bad boy down. We'll tape it up, and you've got a good professional connection here. We're going to be ready to install the undertail on the motorcycle. Okay, we're ready to install the undertail on the motorcycle now. What they have is they have it basically being pinched in between the battery box here and the bolts for this cross brace. Okay, so you're going to slide it in underneath there. You need to push up a little bit on that battery box. That'll allow it to dip right in. We'll come over to the other side, do the same thing. A little upward pressure on that battery box makes it slide in a lot easier. Just kind of going to get that started now. I'm going to bring the wiring harness here up through this factory battery tray, like so. Okay, and I want to route it here. Make sure that we don't have any pinch points, right, as we're going through this. Okay, that all looks good. Now, let's get this thing lined up, right? Slide this over a little bit. It's just a little uneven. A little upward pressure. That battery box. Get that bad boy to come over so it'll dip up in there nice and tight. Okay, undertail's held up in place. Got it slid in the clip back here, right? Got it tucked in between the battery tray and that cross brace. We're now going to go ahead and get our license plate light plugged in. Back here, make sure we're not going to have any wires pinched as we go through this process back here. And now I'm going to grab one of the side panels for the right side of the bike. And we're going to go ahead and get this side slid together. Okay, turn signal plugged in. Make sure the wiring is routed just right. And let's get this side panel slid in place. Gonna make sure to line up all the clips, both top and bottom. Back. It's going to slide through that portion right there. That goes over the top. Good. Remember, we've got the Christmas tree clip up here that slides into that grommet. Get that slid in. And we got one final clip right here at the very front. Get that to dip in place. Okay. Looks good up top. Start with the push pins back here. Got lined up. What you have to do with these, okay, is initially to release them, you push it in all the way. To reuse it, you push it out like so. Slide it into place, and then push the center in again until you feel it lock in place. Everything's lined up. Now we're ready to go to the other side of the motorcycle. I'm going to lower the table down to do this one. This one we have to contend with both the turn signal and our cable to release the pylon for the passenger. Get our wiring done first. As long as I have the cable in place, we're good to go. We can come back to that and reattach. Let's go ahead and begin to position our side panel. Line it up here with our undertail. And it's going to look cool when it's done. Got our push pin here at the front, inside that rubber grommet. Back here, looks like it's slid in nicely. All of our clips in place. Come to the Christmas tree back here first. Okay, now we're going to stop. I want to check my wiring back here and make sure that my license plate light is illuminating. You can see the LED is on. Still got my tail light, good. Let's check our turn signals, make sure we still have all that. Everything's good to go there, so we haven't created any new problems. Very good. Okay, we are now done here in the undertail area. I'm going to lower the bike down and reassemble the top. Okay, we're going to start off our push pins here. These side panels. Get this all secured. At the end of the day, this is not a bad project. I think it's one of those things where the time you take and the patience that you have with it as you go through it are going to dictate the quality of your end result. Okay? No need to be in a hurry. You know, don't schedule something like this on the same day that you're going out for a really big ride. Make sure you get this thing dialed and looking good and you're happy with it and you spend sufficient time on it to get that. Remember, Hotbodies does have a lot of products too that complement, you know, what we've already installed with that undertail. Got a hugger, got windscreens, they're MGP exhaust growlers, really affordable exhaust. They look cool, sound cool. So they have many items, some blinkers for this motorcycle, many items that complement what we've already installed here. Okay, let's go with our cable. Now before you button this up, okay, before before you go pushing that rear pylon on there, let's go ahead and make sure that we've got everything functioning here. It's all good to go. Got the rear pylon locked in place. Got our screws here all tight. Slide in our rider seat. So we can bolt it back down. There's two hooks, you gotta dip them under the support. And then we have the bolts on the side, 5mm Allen on each side. Once we're done with that, we put the piece of trim in place and we are good to go. A rubber grommet. All right, got the pin. Slide that under the seat. Locate that pin in the grommet. Put a little pressure on it. It's going to pop right in and make sure this clip is up under the front cover for the tank. And then push in on that hard plastic Velcro, and that thing is in there perfectly. All right, there you have it. There is our Hotbodies Undertail install. I'm cool with the paint match. I think it looks pretty good. Got that integrated tail light now. The place where the license plate is mounted, there's no doubt that is for sure cool. Shouldn't be a whole lot of hassle with it, considering the fact you do have the LED there. I would imagine it's probably not DOT approved. If you don't want your plate there, you want to have it in a different area, they do have a couple little brackets that come with it too. You can mount the plate in a different spot of your choosing. Those are included. This is our Hotbodies Undertail install on our 2015 Team M4 SportBikeTrackGear.com Suzuki GSX-R600 project bike giveaway.